Why have dessert for breakfast in Italy? Because you can.
Today, the search for our Italian dream home takes us to the picturesque Apulian town of Oria, where we'll discover a historic center full of art, culture, ancient architecture, and stop for an aperitivo before visiting 3 very different dream homes for sale. Andiamo!
Buongiorno. Welcome to Oria, the underrated, undiscovered gem of southern Italy. As always, we're here in Puglia, and Oria is built on a hill. It has a beautiful castle, it has a cathedral, and that's what I like about it because it has a bit of everything. So you have tons of beautiful architecture all over the place, and that's reflected also in the homes that we're going to see today. But first, let me show you the city.
Oria is an ancient pre-Roman town of about 14,000 inhabitants. Our tour begins via the monumental Porta degli Ebrei, which leads the traveler into the city from a Roman road coming from Taranto on the coastline. And it brings us directly into a beautiful medieval neighborhood with tightly packed cobblestone streets. It's known as the Jewish Quarter, due to the flourishing Jewish community known across the Mediterranean, for which it was famous in medieval times.
So you've noticed by now that Oria is a city built on a hill, and at the top of the hill is its defensive castle. And that's where we're gonna go right now.
One of the things I like best about Oria are its views, and in the beautiful park surrounding the castle, you have some great views overlooking the rustic plains of Salento.
So I'm in the Castello di Oria, the Castle of Oria, and it's existed in one form or another across the centuries. You had the Messapians, of course then you had the Romans, the Byzantines used it, and most importantly, for its current state, it was the Normans who really built it up and used it as the main defense of this area.
And a visit to Oria wouldn't be complete without stopping by its most recognizable landmark, its magnificent Baroque cathedral. It was built in 1750 upon an earlier medieval church, which in turn was built upon a Roman pagan temple. Its facade is remarkable and is sculpted from a local stone called carparo. The structure, seen from the interior, is just as breathtaking. Surfaces are covered in precious marble. Baroque art fills the church from its windows to its columns and arches. Of particular value are the statues of saints realized by famous schools of art from the Baroque period. So for my work, I'm always on my phone, specifically messaging clients, messaging counterparts, because I'm dealing with people from abroad buying homes in Italy. Buyers are writing to me in English, and I'm speaking to other people in Italian. And a lot of the times I have to relay messages from one part to the other, and it always involves this long process of manually translating in my head, but I think I found a better solution. It's called Type AI, and they're the sponsor of today's video. Basically, it's an iOS app which integrates ChatGPT into the keyboards of all of your messaging apps on the phone. So for me, it's become a really good professional day-to-day tool because instead of having to translate manually this message in English into Italian, I can click on the Type AI button, translate, and then with a click of the button here, translate it using ChatGPT into perfect Italian. Another great feature is the tone changer, which can change informal sentences into something formal and professional. Use it all the time when I don't have a lot of time to write, but I want to be giving a good impression with the messages or emails that I'm writing. But definitely try it out for yourself. Click the link in the description box below for a free trial of Type AI Premium version. Highly recommended. Thank you, Type AI.
So today we're doing something special for lunch. Aperitivo, all'italiano. So what's an aperitivo? It is an alcoholic drink which stimulates your appetite. So obviously you have something to eat with it. In Italian they call them stuzzichini, but it's basically finger food, tapas, or a variety of little things to pick off at while you're drinking. This is a Campari, by the way. Okay, so the food has arrived. Aperitivo, with generous portions. Okay, so we've made it to the first house of the day. This is the lowest price house. I believe it's going for 190 is the asking price, negotiable. And it's a house with a lot of potential, very historical, built in the 1700s. And when I say potential, I mean everything has to be redone. But if it were to be redone and correctly, I think this would be a really special location, because it obviously has all of the characteristics of a historical Puglian home from that period. So the house is right in front of me. Let's go up and have a look.
So we're going to be entering in from the back. This is an absolutely massive apartment with entrances both from the street on the back as from on the front. It's 213 square meters total, and it's in a building which was built most likely in the 1700s. So it's a very historical building, and we're right in the historic center of Oria, right below the cathedral and the castle. It consists of 13 different rooms and a basement of 12 square meters as well. I believe the idea of this apartment was to make one big, really massive, noble apartment, completely renovated up here at the top. It was originally 2 different units with one apartment in the back and one in the front, but we'll see a bit further on that there's a wall between them with a door which has been reopened. So it's now one big unit. So we do have these 2 front spaces, and then it brings us back into what was originally the kitchen. Here we have the beautiful cementina tiles. You know we love tiles. And it's a very luminous space. We have that massive window up on that back wall, along with the doors looking out into the balcony there in the back. Well, obviously, when redoing everything in this building, you can keep a kitchen like this positioned as it is. There you can see the space there for the old stove, and also the bathroom to this side. And so, as I was saying, this is essentially a blank slate, and so you can keep this as is or replan things according to your tastes and the logic that you want the floor plan to follow. Coming back here, this is a small hallway. And to the left, we have stairs which lead up to the panoramic terraces, which we'll get to at the end. And we have here a couple of internal rooms. These are absolutely massive ceilings here, higher than the other ones. These ones must have been about 5 meters going up. And this is that entryway, that little atrium that we came into at the beginning, just to give you an idea. We can then walk out into this second inner room. This one has beautiful original cementina tiles, along with those 5-meter high ceilings. And we can see here the wall which was opened up to connect the 2 different units. Now, in contrast to that first unit, this one has its walls and ceilings stripped bare, And that can actually be a positive thing because you have the walls, which you really only need to plaster, and the ceilings can stay revealed. Really massive spaces here. You can see that there's a door going into the other apartments on this area as well. And then another beautiful room with beautiful low arches there on that back wall, along with a stove fireplace here in the middle, in that middle wall, along with the stairs going down to the front entryway, which I mentioned before. So that leads us out onto the street on this side of the building. And then we have this back room as well, absolutely massive, with doors which bring us out into the balcony overlooking that front street. But we're going to head back now, and I wanted to show you the panoramic terraces, which are an absolute high point of this apartment. Really beautiful. And so we go back through to this front apartment into the hallway with those stairs going upwards. I chose this apartment as our first option because I believe it has a really nice location in the center of Oria and lots of potential. The renovation work has already started with the stripped walls in the back, and it's a blank slate. You can do whatever you want with this apartment. And you have the combination of these top terraces, which I think are a really unique asset. With just a turn of the head, we're right under the Cathedral of Oria. All of these rooftops are ours, the ones that we have access to here. And just a perfect view of the monuments of Oria, along with the other historical rooftops around you. And so you can obviously renovate this space, as I've mentioned in the past, putting terraces up at the top, maybe sunshades, and you have a beautiful view of the fields of Salento around you. But now let's go to house number 2.
So on our way to house number 2, we're right in the centro storico of Oria. And so obviously we're in these small, tight streets. All of the houses are in stone, and it's just a really, really cute neighborhood. So I'm going to walk you to the house from here.
So as we're walking to house number 2, I wanted to give you just a few impressions and practical information about Oria. It's a town that I'm very impressed with. It's very clean, very well kept. And what I really like about it is its strategic location. So it's located at the northern part of Salento, kind of the southern part of the Valle d'Itria. And so you're just a 30-minute drive away from Ostuni and a 30 to 40-minute drive heading downwards towards Nardò and the beautiful beaches of the Ionian coast. You're also only about a 30-minute drive away from Brindisi. And Brindisi has an international airport for domestic flights within Italy, but also the rest of Europe. And to Taranto, so if you want another big town of reference, you have Taranto to the west, another 30-minute drive. So it's very strategically located right in the middle of this area of Puglia. I showed you that house because that is the house that we're going to be visiting. This bridge that we're going under also belongs to the house. And I'm really excited to show you this one because this is a completely renovated house in the center of Oria. And so you can see that's the bridge, and this door going to the right is the house that we're going to be going into. It's 3 bedrooms with a private garden, and it's 220 square meters total. You have this first floor apartment, which is totally redone. And on the floor with the garden, you'll see a a space which has to be renovated. So this is the main living room, dining room. Gorgeously done, I must say. The furnishing is perfect. It's very elegant. You have the really high ceilings. And from here you have entrance into one of the bedrooms. So this is bedroom number 1. You have a very high star vaulted ceiling with a light well up at the top. And this has its own private bathroom here in the back. Everything has been renovated and realized with very good materials. And I must say that the landlord is really meticulous in the cleaning and upkeep of this apartment. So this can be sold as is. You really don't have to do much with it. And you can use it as your own personal residence or rent it out as really a luxury B&B. We do also have access to the second bedroom here. And this one is just as big. You can see in the back that they've closed off a part of the space to realize a private bathroom for this bedroom as well. So you do have 2 suites in this area. And it's a very luminous one because you have the windows looking off to the side. Once again, spick and span, very clean, very meticulous in the upkeep of this bathroom. So you have everything, a really big shower actually, the bidet and the toilet. And this bedroom is slightly bigger than the other one. Let's head back into the main living area. And we have this door looking off to the balcony. Now that's the balcony that we saw from below before when we were walking up to the apartment. And it's one of the high points, I believe, of this apartment. You can see the stone framing around it. This is a very old building, once again. And from there, we'll walk through that bridge structure. So this is the inside of that bridge that we walked under coming up. And you have windows looking off to either side. This is the side of the entrance. And I find it's little characteristics like this which really give a lot of personality to a property. This is very unique. The property is also equipped with air conditioning, with heating, and so it's livable throughout the entire year. And before I forget, the asking price is 295,000 euros with a bit of negotiation possible. So we've entered into the kitchen. As you can see, the kitchen is completely renovated. You have this very light, airy inner space. And the kitchen is, of course, fully equipped and I believe renovated with very good taste. So we're going to leave the kitchen now. Let's have one last look at it before we head out. And we'll go towards this back area. This is the 3rd bedroom of the apartment. Once again, the star vaulted ceilings, very light. You have the doors letting in a lot of light. And those are the doors which are actually heading down into you have a little terrace and the gardens downstairs. All of the bathrooms in this apartment have a private bathroom, which is excellent. This is a great feature. Once again, beautifully realized. This has some very nice stylistic tiles on the walls, which I always like. And so let's fix our exposure and head outside. Here you have a beautiful terrace. You have that shading that's been included and installed up at the top, which is very nice. This is a very picturesque space with those vases along the walls. And there's a closer look at the shading. I believe that's wooden framing, and then you have those banners which you can leave up or take down if you ever have to clean or replace them. And this is a stairway leading downstairs. There's just a look at the doors and shutters from the outside, all of which are beautiful across this apartment. And we'll head downstairs into this really picturesque corner of the property, which is this garden. This is something which is extremely unique. You really don't often find gardens in the historical center of these cities, and so this is a really important feature of this property. These are really hard to find, so whenever I find a property in a centro storico with a garden, I'm excited to jump on it and show it to you guys. This garden has orange trees, lemon trees, so the typical Mediterranean flora. And I'll give you here a look at the back. Is actually this floor going under is the part of the house which can be renovated. So it's currently being used, I believe, as a deposit space, a storage space. But you can actually renovate this and turn it into a independent apartment, even if you wanted to. You have 3 different rooms to work with, and you actually have a door out there in the back which gives out directly onto the street. And so you can make this independent. You can rent this out if you decide to fully renovate it. Maybe putting in a big window there and fixing up the rest of the space. But now let's head to Oria's countryside to see house number 3.
So we've made it to house number 3. This is the biggest, it's the most expensive, but it's also a very exciting property. Let's have a look.
So this is our villa. It's 203 square meters with 13,000 square meters of land going around it. The asking price is 420,000 euros, and it's beautifully renovated. You saw the high ceilings. The stone is revealed in all of the spaces, and it's beautifully lit as well. This is bedroom number 1. You can see this bedroom has its own private bathroom there in the back. And before we get going, I'll mention that the full villa has air conditioning and heating as well. So it's very livable throughout the year. And it's a perfect solution for those who don't want to do any work and want a villa out on the picturesque countryside of Salento. So the color palette stays true to the other rooms, which show in prominence the pietra leccese of the arches, so the typical stone used in these constructions out in this area in Puglia. And from here, I'll show you across this entry atrium into the second bedroom there. So this bedroom doesn't have its own private bathroom, but it is a very big space. The ceilings are very high in this villa. Overall, it's a very elegant property. We saw that it has a pool in the back, which I haven't yet mentioned, and the property is fully fenced off all around your own personal terrain. So heading through here, this is kind of a hallway area. And that's a door to the right, which leads to the second bathroom, which we'll get to in a bit. And this leads us into the living area. So this is the main sitting room. You have the living room with a dining area and the sliding doors, which look out onto the gardens into the back. Very aesthetically pleasing with the white walls and the revealed stone along the ceilings. Just beautiful geometry of arches. Gothic arches crossing that ceiling there. I love it. And going around the corner, we have the kitchen. It was a very light day, and this is the type of property that lets in a lot of light. And speaking of the sun, the hot water is actually produced in this villa via solar panels. And the water itself is provided by an artesian well out in the back, which we'll see. So this is the kitchen, very modern. You have that wonderful island in the middle. So it's something you don't get in traditional Italian homes, is having a big space with enough area to put an island in it. But this is the benefit of having a villa. This is a perfect family home. It's very practical and it's very modern. And this leads us into the third bedroom. This one doesn't have star vaulted ceilings, but it does have access to the second bathroom. So you can see there's a door there to the right inside the bathroom, and that's the entrance into the bathroom from that hallway that we went through before going into the living area. Once again, very nice, very well kept, very modern. You have a shower, bidet, the toilet, and integrated heating as well, with a ventilation system since it is an inner bathroom. But let's head back out now. Here we have a good glimpse onto that beautiful geometry of the ceilings of the arches in the sitting room here. What I really like is also the kind of Mediterranean colors that this pietra leccese lends into any space that it is present in. But now we'll head out into the garden area. So you can see there's that pool in the back. We are in the winter, so the pool is closed off. And that's the artesian well there to the left. The pool is 13 by 5 meters, so it's a very big pool, and it's really a sight to behold during the summer. And you have this kind of gazebo structure going off of the property onto this back terrace, which can be covered in during the hotter months. Here I will give you a closer look at the pool itself. You can see the stonework around it is very nice. Maintenance does have to be done on it before it's up and running for the warmer season. But you can have a good look here. It's a very big property. It's 13,000 square meters, and it's fully fenced off around it. And another good thing about it is its position, because we're really just right outside of Oria, and going into town on bicycle and even an e-bike, even better, is definitely doable. So here's a better look there at this well, and it brings us around to the front of the house. Guys, if you haven't yet, please check out my Patreon and consider supporting. As you can guess, a lot goes into the making of these episodes, so I really appreciate your support. Like, subscribe, comment, and thank you to my current patrons. Hope to see you soon. Ciao.